Hi, good afternoon, good evening, where you're watching from. How are you today? Okay, welcome to today's webinar. Okay, just let me know if you can see me and you can hear me. Please, if you're here, you can see my smiling face and you can hear me, just put an emoji. Put an emoji in the comments so that I can know that you can see and you can hear me. Okay, so today has long been coming. I've had like a lot of questions from all of you that are excited about today's webinar because you're going to learn how to get high income jobs, right? Not just in Canada, but anywhere in the world. Okay, I'm still waiting for you to confirm that you can see and hear me. Awesome. Sunday Afolabi, you are very welcome. So you're the first person that commented. Let me just put you up there. Yeah, so please share with your friends. Please invite your friends, get a pen and paper, because this is a very, very important topic today, right? Very important. Okay. Is there any other person in the house that can hear me? If you can hear me, leave an emoji and tell us where you're watching from. We'll start in just about a couple of minutes. Let's just wait for more people to join. Okay, so today, like I said, we're talking about how you can get high income jobs in Canada and outside of Canada. Okay, that's it. Now, you need to subscribe to the channel for you to be able to comment or ask a question. So if you want to be able to ask questions, you want to comment, or you want to get access to all the wonderful videos we have on this channel, just subscribe, yeah? So today we have a very special guest. We've had him on the channel before. He's an expert when it comes to a lot of things, data analytics, tech, and all of that. And today he wants to show us and to tell us how we can get high-paying jobs in Canada, right? So I'm going to just invite him. So you are welcome. 1 second.
Yes, hello Shay.
Yes. Yeah, so welcome to today's webinar. So long-awaited webinar. I was just telling everybody that, you know, we're going to be learning how they can get high-income jobs in Canada. And I've also been telling them that it's not just about Canada, right? No matter where you are, what country you are, this is going to work. Because these days we see that trend, right? In terms of, even in Canada, everybody moving towards high in demand jobs, right?
Yes.
And of course, if you're in Canada or wherever you are, you want to get a high income job that can give you more money, more bucks, right? And pay you better for your time. So we're excited to start. So guys, what we're going to do is he's going to introduce himself briefly. He's going to share his screen and take us through. Please get a pen and paper. Make sure you're jotting something. And even more importantly, you can also call the tech team and you can get you can ask questions. So there's a community that you can join, speak with an expert. The link is in the description of this live. So if you go to the description, you'll see the clickable link. Make sure you're joining it. They're not asking you for money. It's free. And you can ask all your questions and see if this works for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Adeiza, up to you now.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for that, Shay. I'm super happy to be here again. Now, you're right when you say that getting a job, it doesn't matter if you're in Canada or wherever you are, getting the job is usually the same across different regions. But again, we're going to break it down into different regions, especially in Canada, because getting a job in Canada is different when you're trying to get a job in the UK. I've lived in the UK, I've worked in the UK, I'm currently in Canada, and there's a difference. So I'll be sharing those nuances that you need to take note of when applying to jobs, especially in Canada, but it's going to cut across different other regions. Okay, my name is Adeiza Suleiman. I'm the founder of Tenalytics. I'm a technology expert with over a decade experience in data analytics, management consulting, data engineering, and so on and so forth. Using the platform of Tenalytics, we've been able to help over 2,855 people to transition from their current career path into technology related areas. So I'll give an example. We had somebody who was a care worker in Saskatchewan. Today, she's a business analyst working with the government of Alberta after joining our business analysis program. We've had people who are logistic professionals. Today, they're project managers after completing our agile project management program. So we've helped over 2,855 people and more transitioning. And just to give a little bit of a background, I've worked as a data science consultant in the UK, lived and worked in the UK. I've worked with different organizations in the US. I've worked as a data analytics professional with one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa, helping them with their business performance and literally taking their data and transitioning it into insights to help them take decisions. I've also worked with FITC, owned by the Bankers Committee and the Central Bank of Nigeria as well, in the financial services sector. I've worked across 5 different sectors, from energy to educational technology to sports, automobile, and so on and so forth. So I'll be sharing my experience as we move along today. But why are we here? We are here to learn how to get high-paying jobs, okay? High-paying jobs in Canada, in the US, in the UK. And I'll also be sharing how other people have been able to do it, all right? So all the misconceptions of, oh, I need to have Canadian work experience, I need to have this, I need to have that, would be, touching into that today, all right? So ensure, like Shay advised, if you have a pen, you have a paper, get that ready so you can jot things down and take things away from today's session. So Shay, please let me know if you can see my screen that I'm sharing. It's a blank screen at the moment. Okay, absolutely. So one of the first things I would highlight today are the in-demand career path. Because before you get started, you need to know we are all about education. We are all about understanding where you're diving into. So which career path are in demand wherever I am, okay, at the moment? And, how do I land a job? If I'm in Canada, if I'm in the US, in the UK, would look at what employers are looking for. Most of the time, the mistake people make is you think you know what you need to get in order to land that job, but you realize that you are simply gaining the skills based on your own requirements and not what the employers want. That's why you'd hear people say so many things. It's difficult to get into tech. Oh, they need UK work experience. They need Canadian work experience. But how do you navigate that space? What exactly are they looking for? I'll share some success stories. I'll show you how to get started, especially for the upcoming cohort in April and May. And finally, we are in the month that commemorates the women, the International Women's Month, a fantastic month where we celebrate our women. Unfortunately, only 25% of roles within the tech ecosystem are occupied by women. Only 25%. So one of the things we've also been doing as an organization to accelerate action and accelerate the entry of women into the tech ecosystem is to come up with discounts that allows women to register and get started in their journey. So I'll be sharing that with you. Fantastic discounts. If you are a brother to a sister, you are a husband to a wife, you have a niece, you have a colleague in the office that is a lady, she should be here. All right. And we also extended the discounts to 50 men as well. And I'll be sharing that as we move on today. Now, I'll try to move fast because of time. So I would like, if you have questions, drop your questions in the chat. I'll see those questions and pick them from time to time. Now, 70% of people who travel abroad, I left Nigeria years ago. I moved to the UK, currently in Canada. I never struggled to land a job. And the reason why I did not struggle to land a job was simply because of the information that I had. The co-founder of Tenalytics was already in Ireland. He had left Nigeria before I left Nigeria. So we got talking, and he told me that I knew the type of jobs he was doing at that time as a business intelligence analyst. We learned together while we were in Nigeria. We literally had similar set of skills. So I knew what to learn. I wasn't one of those people that went to learn how to cut hair as a barber or went to learn how to plait hair or make hair as a lady, because people will tell you those are the type of skills you need to learn when you're moving to Canada because you get paid a lot and so on. However, for those type of jobs, it requires a lot of time. So if you're going to spend time making how many lady's head you want to make in a week to make 6 figures at the end of the month, or 6 figures at the end of the year, I beg your pardon, you need to do a whole lot. And what we call that at analytics is hustling backwards. You are working physically demanding jobs simply because you want to earn more money. So people lack the skills, they lack the experience. They don't get these jobs because they don't have Canadian work experience. They don't get these jobs because they don't have the skills. And a study by Manpower Group simply shows that people don't apply to jobs. And when I say jobs, I'm talking about jobs that are progressive, jobs like, jobs within the tech ecosystem, the data analyst, the business analyst, the cybersecurity professionals. People don't apply to these jobs. So there are few or no applicants. People would rather apply to the jobs that are easier to get, the warehouse jobs, the care jobs, the support jobs. With all due respect to those people working in those career paths, majority of the people I've interacted with, they're not doing those jobs because they want to do them. They are doing them because it's easy to get into, number one. And number two, they just need to make money to, cater for their cost of living and so on. But you don't want that to be permanent. It's a temporary job until you eventually get the job you need to get. So people don't apply. That's number one. And for the people that apply, they don't have the right skills and experience. Okay. And that's the reason why people struggle to land jobs. So my job today is, my promise to you is, by the end of this session, you would understand exactly what organizations are looking for, how you can position yourself to ensure that you land that job, what you need to learn, people who have gone ahead of you, how have they done it before? Okay. And I'll be sharing that with you. So the question anybody would ask me is, where are the jobs? Right? So where are the jobs? And most people would look at what my friend is doing. My friend is doing business analysis. I got a job as a business analyst, so I must also get a job as a business analyst. Or maybe you're on the path of learning to become a data analyst, but then you have a friend who got a job as a cybersecurity professional. Then you jump ship to also want to learn cybersecurity. So how do you stay committed, focused, knowing where the jobs are, so you know if you're on the right path or not? So one of the things that we do is we analyze the major job boards every single year. We scrape data from Indeed, from Glassdoor, from ZipRecruiter, from Total Jobs, all the major job boards, and then we analyze to see where the opportunities are, the jobs that had the highest frequency, where recruiters were hiring from. Then we also look at 3 criteria in selecting the career path to teach people for them to get into. And number 1 criteria is ease of learning. So how easy is it for me to learn this job? Will it take me another 2 years? Do I have to go back to the university in order to learn these skills? Then ease of transitioning. So if I had worked as a carer, or I'm a nurse, or I've worked as a teacher, can I become a business analyst? For example, my own first degree was in industrial chemistry. That's my background. I didn't study anything tech. I had no, foundation, knowledge in tech. But I've worked as a data analyst, data engineer, data scientist for the most part of my career. All right. So we look at different regions, where are the opportunities, and we also try to look at other research that validates the career path that are in demand. So if you're in the UK, for example, there are certain areas you want to focus on, and these are areas within the data ecosystem. All right. According to the Department of Science, Innovation and Technology of the UK government, over 178 to 234,000 data roles are left on field every year. So year on year, you have vacancies over 234,000 that people don't fill because they don't apply. And for those that apply, they don't have the skills to get those jobs. But the jobs are there. It's very clear. And when you look at the ones that are high in demand, the top 10 data roles within the UK, number 1 is the data analyst. You'd see that clearly indicated. You'd see head of data, the data manager, you'd see the data scientist, you see the data engineer, the data protection officer, and so on and so forth. So you start to see clearly that if I want to get a job, and I know that there are always vacancies in these areas, totaling 234,000 jobs. That's a whole lot. And over about 50% of companies in the UK would hire professionals that have something related to data. You could be a business data analyst, you could be a data officer, but as long as you have data attached to your role, you will be hired by at least half of the businesses in the UK. So you know where you need to start to focus on. All right. And you know, if I learn these skills, I can easily start to get a job within these areas. Now, if you go to the US, you'd see the data engineer. There are a couple of roles, but I highlighted some of them in amber. I
Mm,
highlighted them deliberately because looking at the three criteria I mentioned, ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and then high and rewarding salary. So all these jobs that are highlighted in amber fall within those three criteria. And I'll give a very quick example. To become a software developer, you need roughly 1 year to 18 months, between 12 to 18 months to transition to become a software developer, especially a full stack developer, front end and back end. It's not easy, it's highly demanding, and it takes a lot of dedicated learning, working on practicals, working on projects. So it's not easy to learn. So it doesn't fall within the criteria of easy to learn. So you'd see the areas where you can easily get into the data engineering role, the cloud architect, which is also related to data engineering, the data scientist, the cybersecurity professional, the agile project manager. And if you're in Canada, the career paths are not so far apart compared to the UK and the US. You have the project manager roles, the business analyst, the data analyst, data engineers, the network engineers, the data scientists, and these are the areas you want to focus on. All right. So, what I want you to do is make a note, two areas that you think you are interested in or you'd like to get into, because you can't get into everything. So, two, and then by the end of today's session, you'd have narrowed it down to one. All right. So, what we also advise, I've also kept links to some of the reports that I'll share with you today. And you can always go to those links. You'd receive my slides, you get access to the slides from the description. Shay is going to post that there. So you have access to my to the slides essentially. Now, if you click on this shows the top 10 jobs. Just give me 1 second. I'll share this on my screen. If you click on that link, it takes you to the Hayes website, where Hayes, they've done an analysis of where the jobs would be, the top 10 jobs, most especially across the globe, but most especially in Canada. So you'd see all the areas I've highlighted: the data scientist, the solutions architect, the network engineer, the software developer, the DevOps, the Java developer, the data engineer, the business analyst, the data analyst, the project manager. So clearly indicated. So you know exactly the career path you want to focus on. That's the essence of doing all of this. So quit listening to the opinion of everybody, and you want to do this from an informed perspective, an informed point of view. All right. Now, we took all of these research, all of these analysis, and we came up with 8 career paths that if you want to get a job the fastest, you're in the UK, you're in Canada, you're in the US, these are the 8 career paths you want to focus on. Number 1 is the data analyst career path. Number 2, you have the data scientist, you have the data engineer, you have the cybersecurity professional, you have the business analyst, the financial analyst, the HR analyst, the agile project manager, or the scrum master career path. And you start to realize very quickly that because I've learned data analytics does not mean that I only get a job as a data analyst. I can get a job as a database analyst or database administrator. I can get a job as a business intelligence analyst, and so on and so forth. So I want everybody to look at these 8 career paths, from data analytics all the way to the agile project manager, scrum master role, and identify the areas you are interested in. Okay. And better still, if you're in Canada, for example, you also want to find out which career paths have accelerated pathways to PR. Most of the career paths you'd find are career paths within the STEM ecosystem, from science to technology to engineering and mathematics. So all these areas fall within those accelerated pathways, the career path that would give you accelerated pathways to PR. And I've listed just a few. I listed the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program and also the Tech Talent Pathway by Saskatchewan. So you want to look at these career paths. And I'll just give you one as an example. I'd open the AAIP, the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program. All right. So this is where you get invited for provincial nomination by Alberta, and you use this to apply for your PR eventually. You get your invitation to apply. You apply based on specific NOC codes. And if you look at the NOC codes and you realize very quickly that they align with the areas I have just listed, you'd see the data scientist, you'd see the cybersecurity specialist, the business system specialist. These are the business analysts, all right? And you'd see the database analysts, the database administrators. These are your data analysts, okay? So I want you to come back, click on this link, go through these areas, and you'd see clearly where the opportunities are. So now that we've identified the opportunities, you've selected areas you're interested in. Some of you would have selected the data analyst, the data scientist, or cybersecurity and financial analyst. The question now is, what do employers want? Because that's a big question you need to ask yourself in order to get the job. If you don't know what employers want, you really would not know how to prepare. Okay? Employers want only two things from you. And we've known this over the last 5 years. And that's what has made us so successful, helping over 2,855 plus people land their jobs. We've had people who got their jobs before they even moved into Canada. We've had people who got their jobs a month into Canada. And that's simply because they have the right information, they know how to prepare, they know how to interview, which I'll talk about during my session today. So employers want just two things from you, nothing more. Forget about everything you know. Oh, Canadian work experience, this and that. Take everything, put it in a box, and just assume that it doesn't exist. All right? So what do employers want from you? Just two things. Number one is your skills, and number two, your experience. Nothing more. Your skills and your experience. So the question now is, how do I gain the skills and how do I gain experience? All right. Most people also take the wrong route and wrongly assume that getting skills means I need to get certification. That's the wrong route to take. Competence always trumps credentials. So you don't watch whatever you studied in university doesn't matter. Whatever certification you have doesn't matter. Can you do the job? Have you done it before? Do you have evidence that you've done it? And I'll walk you through how to get all these things in place using a practical, real life case study of a real person who has gone through this journey and they've come out successful at the other end. I'll share a story of a lady. Her testimonial is on my slide. Her name is Hope. Hope moved from Nigeria to Canada. She was a project manager back in Nigeria. She also had Scrum Master certification. She had the PMP certification, but she couldn't get an interview moving to Canada. All right. She registered with us last year, sometime around October. And by sometime around, I think, September. And by December, she landed her first project management job here in Canada with 6 figures. And what did we do? What did we change? All we needed to change with Hope was you have certifications. Certification is just a measure of how well you can study and retain that information. So when you have an exam, you pour the information back out. That's certification. But we changed that narrative for her to somebody who had experience by working on projects, working on real life case studies, and building a portfolio. And that was how Hope was able to show employers that, look, yes, I have certifications, but I've done this before. And this is the evidence of what I've done. And I'll show you exactly how to do the same. So you need your skills, you need your experience. How do you gain skills? How do you gain experience? Gaining the skills to work in any of the areas I've listed in, you want to learn those skills in an environment you can convert your skills into experience, not just by watching videos like so many people do on YouTube, on Coursera, on Udemy. I've done that. I've done those things myself. I have 1,000,001 courses on Udemy. I never got to finish, and it never helped because I tried to do it alone. I tried to learn in a self-paced environment. Was not really helpful for me. Excuse me. So what you want to do is learn in a project-based environment. Project-based environment. And I'll show you every single thing I say. I'll show you practically how to do that using somebody. Like I said, learn in a project-based environment, an environment where you can learn in a self-paced manner, where at any point in time, any day, anytime, you can log into that platform, watch your videos, solve case studies, solve projects. And then you must also have a live instructor-led class, especially if you're in Canada. All right. You need a mentor. You need somebody who has done it before to guide you and advise you on what to do. In Canada, you must move from intensity to intentionality. Intensity, you can do that in the UK. You apply to so many jobs because there are so many resources, so many jobs available. If you put your head down in the UK 1 month after you learn the skills, you apply, where to apply, how to apply. We show you how to do that. You will land a job. But in Canada, it's not the same. You don't have as many resources in Canada in terms of jobs like you have in the UK. So you can't just focus on intensity of application. You have to be intentional. And the only way you can learn to be intentional is by having somebody who has done it before, a professional walking you through projects, case studies. This is how to answer questions like this. This is where to find opportunities, just like you're all here today. And I'll be showing you how to do that. All right. So for us at Analytics, when you join a Analytics program, you learn in a self-paced environment, okay, where you can log into the learning management system, you watch your videos, and you work on case studies. Every module ends with a case study. And then you have a live class. Your live classes are on Saturdays, just like today, where you join a live program with somebody like me or other industry professionals, and you solve problems together. So this blended learning approach gives you all the knowledge and the skills that you need. I found myself in a position where I was learning on Udemy. I was learning SQL. I got stuck, and I got stuck for 3 weeks because there was nobody to, show me that this was what I was doing wrong. I had nobody to talk to, nobody to speak to. All right. And that's where you struggle. It becomes difficult and you drop out. Okay. So the best way to learn, I always advise for people who are transitioning. You are in care today. You are a support worker. You are a banker back in Nigeria. You've come to Canada. You're struggling to get a job. You want to become a business analyst, a data analyst. Work with somebody, a platform that will not just give you videos to watch, but also show you how to do it in a live class. And I'll show you all how all these things look like eventually. All right. Once you do that, you've learned in a self-paced environment. Number two is you must start to convert every single problem you solve into work experience. Remember, employers want you for your skills and they want you for your experience. So you must show them that you've done it before. And I always like to use this analogy. And I want you to tell me, all right, you have two carpenters. You want to buy a couch for your living room. One carpenter has a certification that shows that they went to carpentry school. They were the best in carpentry school. The other carpenter has a showroom to show that you can come into the showroom, you can touch all the couches I've built, you can feel them, know the quality of the couch and decide on what to buy. Who would you select to buy your couch from? The person who has a certification that he or she had gone to carpentry school, or the person who has evidence of what they've built? Everybody goes for the second person. So that's where you start to understand the importance of experience, and not just having the experience, but having proof that you have that experience. So what we do at Analytics is when you learn in class, you also have your internship at the end of the program. So you have 2 months of internship where you get to work on real world projects. You solve problems together in a cross functional team, working with team members to solve a common problem. All right. So at the end of the day, you have a portfolio. Your portfolio is your showroom. And I'm going to use this gentleman right here as our case study today. His name is Victor. Victor joined our data science program, and I'll show you all the things I've been saying, from the skills to working on projects to building experience, showcasing your experience. I'll use Victor as a case study. All right. So when you receive my slide, you can also look at the amazing professionals I've listed here. You have someone like Victoria, who is a data analyst. You have Lemuel, who is a business analyst. You have Onwachuku, who is a data engineer. And you have this professional as a cybersecurity professional. So you'd see the showroom, just like that carpenter, you'd see the showroom of work they've done before. All right. So let's use Victor as a case study. Victor joined our data science program. He learned in a project based environment, working on projects, real world problems. And one of the projects he worked on was helping a credit union, a credit company, to identify customers that were likely going to default on their loans. So companies give you credit cards. Before they give you credit cards, they want to look at certain criteria and see if you'd likely be able to pay them back. Or they give you a personal loan. They want to see some, criteria, your credit score, your, income, your annual income, and so on and so forth, where you live, and create a predictive model to determine if you'd likely default on that loan or not. So this particular credit union had non-performing loans beyond what it should be. All right. And Victor built a machine learning model to help them identify customers that are likely going to default. And I'll show you that model. Then Victor also, during his internship, he worked with data analysts, data engineers, other stakeholders. So he gained that cross-functional experience that professionals, your potential employers, want to see. Have you worked with a difficult stakeholder? Have you worked as a data scientist? Have you worked with a data analyst? Have you worked with a data engineer? Have you worked in a cross-functional team? Because that's what you'd find in the real world. In the real world, you don't work alone. You work with other colleagues in the office to solve a common problem. Now, after Victor built all these projects, solved all these problems, he built a showroom, just like that carpenter who has a showroom. He built a showroom to showcase his experience. So before I get into Victor's portfolio, I'm going to take you to Victor's LinkedIn profile. All right. So let's get to Victor's LinkedIn profile very quickly, and then we'll come right back here. Let me go on LinkedIn. Okay. So I'm just simply going to type Victor Omoboye. Okay. So the reason why I'm showing you Victor's profile is to simply show you that getting the job is far beyond just application, interviewing. It's all about positioning. You must have the right LinkedIn. You must have the right CV. You must have a showroom as evidence of what you've done. You must also have the skills as well. So this is Victor's LinkedIn, properly done, properly optimized, keyword optimized. If anybody searches for a data scientist on LinkedIn, Victor's profile would come up. Okay. So you'd see right here that Victor also has a link to his portfolio. So a professional, a HR professional, a recruiter does not need to even speak to Victor, and they can see all the things Victor has done. That's the essence of having a showroom, just like that carpenter. All right. So I'm going to click on the portfolio right here. You can also click on it from the slides I'll be sharing with you. The link is also there. So if I click on this, or I go to my slide and I click on this link, it takes me to that same Victor's portfolio. Okay. So this is what everybody gets to build as a financial analyst, HR analyst, business analyst. You have a portfolio like this. Now, one of the projects you'd see here is a loan default prediction project. So this is a project that focuses on developing an automated loan default prediction model for a company called Loanalytics. Victor used machine learning and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, how did Victor come up with this project? How did he get the experience? This is where I'll take you on a journey. So, remember, I talked about two things. I talked about learning in a self paced environment and learning in a live classroom with a professional. So, one of the first things when you join a Analytics program is if you go to the website, you've joined data science just like Victor, you have a dashboard, and your dashboard shows you this is where you can come to any day, anytime, on a Sunday, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, any day, anytime. You can log in and you watch your videos at your own convenience. If you have an interview, you don't need to bother or worry. How do I prepare for that interview? All you have to do, come into the interview prep on your dashboard, click on schedule appointment, okay, and you'd enter all the details to, with the requirements of the interview. You select your program. I mean, the full stack data science program. You enter the link to the job right here. You fill all the details. Your interview stage is first level. Your job description, you copy and paste it right here. And if you want us to even prepare you on a Sunday, you come here, interview date, and you select the date. I want to be prepared on the 15th. You upload the CV you used to apply to that job, and somebody would prepare you for that interview. And when you have the opportunity of being prepared by somebody who has done that job before, knows about the region, it increases your chances of landing the job from 50% to a minimum of 85%. And this is part of the reason why people like Victor, people like the other people I would show you, have been able to get jobs. Okay, so let's go to Victor's class. So on a Sunday, on a Monday, Victor logs into this classroom and he can watch his videos here at any point in time at his own convenience. He can learn, watch Excel videos. He can watch his statistics videos as a data scientist, his machine learning videos, and every single problem, every single module has a case study. A case study to give you that work experience. So in a real life environment, how would you take all the skills you've learned and solve a real problem? Okay, so this is what the self-paced environment looks like. You can watch your videos anytime, and then you have the live classroom. The live classroom is where you have the opportunity to interact with a real professional, solving problems together. In a class, you have the opportunity to stop your facilitator, ask a question, and you get real-time feedback. Now, we've not digressed from that loan project that Victor built. So let's see how we built it. So in class, the machine learning class, the first class in machine learning, you work on a project called, I'll open that project, is a machine learning project for what? For who? Loanalytics Incorporated. So this is how you learn in class. And this is the project that Victor solved. Building a loan default prediction model, okay, using Python as a data scientist. So you'd look at the background. What's this company all about? Oh, they're a credit union in the financial services. What's the problem? What problem do they have? They have non-performing loans, very high non-performing loans. So they want to identify customers who would give them problems and not pay them back their money before they even issue that loan. All right. So you know the rationale, you know the objectives, and then you get to work. So in a real live class, if I go to this recording of the live class that happened, which anybody who's joined can always come back, you can watch your videos, see what happened in case you missed the class. This problem was solved together with a professional. Okay, so from how you get your data into Python, your Python notebook, step by step, you solve the problem together with your facilitator. Once you've done this, and you've completed this project, what do you do? For somebody like Victor, you must build a portfolio. So Victor took that project, took it to his portfolio. The link to his portfolio, which is a showroom, would be on his CV, would be on his LinkedIn. So when he sends in that CV and he's being considered for an interview, the recruiters can look at what he's done. And before they even speak to him, they know exactly how good he is. So if I come here, let's assume myself and Shay, we are HR, consultants, or we are recruiters. We come to his portfolio, we click on this project. It takes us to this particular project, and I can read about what Victor did. Leveraging machine learning to predict loan default risk. Read about the introduction, read about the problem statement, predict borrower default risk, improve loan approval efficiency. So I can read about everything he's done. But more importantly, I can look at the codes, how he solved the problem in real time. So I can click on this. It takes me to his Python notebook. And for me, as the hiring manager, I can see the type of libraries that he used. I can see the steps. This is called show your workings. Show that you've done it before. Prove to me that you don't just have it on paper, but you've done it. That's exactly what Victor has here. So without a doubt, I would know how good Victor is. How did he perform his EDA, exploratory data analysis? How did he carry out his univariate analysis? How did he carry out his bivariate analysis? This is what employers want to see from you, not Canadian work experience. But we'll talk about Canadian work experience and how you can even get Canadian work experience. All right. But this is what recruiters want to see. They want to see that you have the competence to do the job, and they want to see evidence that you've done it before. And this is an example of Victor. From the self-paced learning to the live classes to building a portfolio, the problems you solve in class becomes your work experience, because these are problems that industry professionals have faced. We've carved those projects, we've couched them into case studies for you. So as you solve those problems, you are solving a problem I solved while I was a data scientist, solving that problem in the industry. And that's how you gain work experience. All right. And let's take a very quick look at what Victor learned. Because of time, I won't be able to go through all the 8 different career paths that I listed. But I want to use this to show you as a case study what you'd learn, what organizations are looking for, and how it aligns with the requirements of that organization. So as Victor, who did data science, got a job as a data scientist, Victor started with statistics. He learned how to use Microsoft Excel for forecasting. He learned Tableau, SQL, Python programming, exploratory data analysis, machine learning, computer vision, GitHub for version control, ChatGPT for AI in data science, and GitHub Copilot for AI in data science as well, and Microsoft Fabric. These were the tools and technologies that Victor learned. Now let's take one job. Let's take one job board. I'm going to show you 2 job boards to focus on, especially if you're in Canada today and you want to get a job. The 2 job boards that are relevant for any professional. One is Built In. The second one is Workopolis. The larger chunk of people who have gotten jobs at Analytics got jobs from these 2 platforms, especially those in Canada. All right. So I'm going to take you to the first one, which is Built In. Okay. So if you just go to your browser, type Built In. Built In. Okay. Just search for Built In. You'd see builtin.com. The beauty about Built-In is you can select the type of jobs you want to get, the criteria. You can select the experience. You want it remote, hybrid, and all of that. Okay, so I'll go to Built-In. So this is very good for people in the US and for people in Canada as well, North America essentially. So I'll come in here and I'll type data scientist. All right, data scientist. So by typing a data scientist role, I don't want to specify. So it's showing me my province, Calgary, Alberta. I don't want to use any specific province. I'm just going to take that out and select Canada. Okay. I'm going to leave this fully remote, show me different jobs. Okay. Fully remote, hybrid, and on site. I don't need to make any change here, and I'll click on see jobs. So this would show me different types of jobs that I can start applying to. And for us, we always advise when it comes to the experience. So if I click on all filters, I want to look for experience, and I want to select mid-level, 2 to 5 years experience. So completing our data science program gives you an equivalence of 2 years experience at the minimum. Okay, so you can select mid-level, and I'll just click on that, and I'll click on apply. So this would show me jobs that are mid-level, and I'm not sure if this is very visible. Let me maximize a bit. So you see the different data scientist roles where these jobs are located, where when it was posted. This was posted 17 hours ago, so it's pretty new. Let's check this job out. All right. So I'll go to this and I want to see the requirements. What do they need from me compared to what I'll be learning? And can I actually get this particular job? Okay. I think I clicked on the wrong thing. Let me just click on that. So this is the role itself. And if I scroll down a bit, I want to focus on the skills for this job. So to get this job, you must have 2 to 3 years experience. You must have the ability to write sophisticated data analysis, machine learning. You must also know how to work on complex data sets, NLPs. You must be able to write SQL queries and so on. So if you look at the skills required and you go back to what you learn in our program, it covers everything and even more. You're going to learn statistics. They want you to know SQL. You're going to learn SQL. They want you to know how to write Python code. You're going to learn Python programming. You're going to learn machine learning, computer vision, Microsoft Fabrics, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you start to see very quickly that I can learn all the skills that I need to apply to get that job. Okay, and if we look a little bit further, I don't know if the salary is here. I'm not sure, but it's usually a six-figure job for a data scientist in Canada. Okay, so you have it right here. Salary, the starting salary for this role is between $110,000 to $135,000 per annum. And they've even indicated, what the interview process would look like. 30 minutes interview, 1 hour Zoom interview, take home coding assignment. And this is where we help you. All right. You have this interview. You don't need to worry about preparing yourself. You book an interview prep session. A professional would help you navigate this entire process. And that's how you bring the job home. Now, Victor, who joined this program, had his live classes on Saturdays. So it doesn't matter where you are in Canada, you are in the US, you are in the UK, you have your class that fits your time zone. So if you're in the UK, for example, your class would be 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, which is roughly 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. UK time. And if you're in the US, you're in Canada, you have your class from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain time. So if you're in Alberta, like I am, your 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. But if you're in Ontario, like Shay, your 10 a.m. would be 12 noon. My 10 a.m. would be your own 12 noon because you're 2 hours ahead. So you have a live class on Saturday. It fits your time zone. If you're in the UK, you don't need to bother yourself about joining classes at odd hours. And if you're in the US or you're in Canada, you can also join your class at your own convenience. Then every other day from Sunday all through Friday, you can watch your videos on the learning management system. Okay. The program duration is for 8 months. 8 months because you have 6 months of learning where you have enough time to learn the skills properly, to work on projects, and then you have your 2 months internship. What typically happens is you have people who get their jobs even before they jump into the internship. And that's because you don't start applying when you are done. You apply during the program. So we always work with you and we tell you that apply even before you are done. Okay. Somebody's asking, what of people in Nigeria? I'll give you all the different success stories. All right, if you're in Nigeria, you are in Ghana, we have a lot of them in our programs. Some of them are working remotely for companies in the US, and I'll share that with you. Okay, now this for the business analysts. I'd have loved to show you, go to the job board, show you the requirements, come back and show you exactly what you need to get that job. Because of time, I'm going to move to the next aspect. After you've learned, you've worked like Victor, you've worked on projects, you've built a portfolio. How do I now gain that Canadian work experience they're always talking about? How do I gain it? When you join us at Analytics, you don't join us as a student. You join us as a contractor, as a consultant, so that you can request for references from us. We provide you with those references, and it's every organization would, when you get that offer, they'll tell you, come up, give us 3 references. Okay, where have you done this before? Now, because you've learned all the skills that you need to do that job, you've worked on projects during your internship, your work experience part of the program, you've gained all those skills that you need. All you need to do is list Analytics, list Amdari as part of your work experience. So Amdari is a sister company of Analytics. Amdari is registered, has operations in Canada, in Alberta, and has operations in the UK, in London. So if you're in the UK, you list Amdari, London, UK as your experience. If you're in Canada, you list Amdari, Alberta, Canada as your work experience. And this gives you that gravitas where recruiters see that you've gotten this job, you must be doing something right. Let's approach you to interview you. Eventually, when you get that offer, we also provide you with a reference. Okay, so that's the best thing you get. So your internship, after completing your program with us, will be done at Amdari. So you have Analytics where you learn the skills, you work on projects. You have Amdari where you do your internship to gain that real world work experience at the end of your learning journey. Okay, once you have this done, the next thing is your employability skills. A lot of people ignore this. They learn the technical skills, they have a portfolio, they are very good in Python, they are good in Excel. As a business analyst, they are good in process optimization. But how do you get into the room? You need to have the right LinkedIn. I showed you Victor's LinkedIn. It's a model of how your LinkedIn profile should look like. You must have the right CV, know how to navigate the job market, which is what we show you how to do. For us, navigating the job market means you know exactly where to apply to jobs. Okay. So if you're in any of our programs, what we do every single Sunday is we post jobs. We call them job offers. We post them to you. We've vetted these jobs, we've looked at the job requirements, and we know that these are the type of jobs you can get. And we send these jobs to you every single Sunday. So if I click on this in one of the classrooms and you click on job offer, what you'd get to see are the jobs across different regions. So if you're in the US, you have jobs to apply to. If you're in the UK, these are jobs that come with sponsorship. So you don't need to go look for these jobs. And we get the jobs from paid job boards that are not available to everybody, to the public. You have to pay to get access, but we pay. And as being part of Analytics, you have access to these jobs for free. So we send them to you. If you're in Canada, you have access to jobs as well for you to apply to. If you're in Nigeria, you have access to jobs that you can apply to. This was posted last week on the 9th of March. The next one comes in tomorrow on Sunday, the 16th. So every single week, you have jobs that are posted for you to apply to. All right. So that's how we show you where to apply, how to apply. All right. You also have the opportunity for interview prep. I've talked about that. We prepare you for your interviews. We give you a reference when you get a job and they want a reference from a reputable organization. On the job support, you've gotten that job, but then there's a project you're working on and that project seems a bit more difficult than what you've done before. You have 10 analytics to work with you on that project for a month to ensure you have a solid footing. You also have the weekly mentorship. Your weekly mentorship program is where every Thursdays, you have your mentorship. Okay. So this is a cohort that started in February last month. They've had 5 mentorship sessions so far. The mentorship session this past Thursday, I handled that session. And this is a session where we had an interview simulation. So Shay, let me explain what the interview simulation looks like. So you have over 200 people on the call. Then we would have created job descriptions, would have created a fictitious job for you to apply to. Okay, you apply to that job, and then we interview you in the presence of everybody. So we ask you questions, you respond just as if you were in a real interview, and then we give you feedback at the end of the day. Okay, so I'm just going to see if I can show you a highlight of what happened this past Thursday.
Yeah, please confirm that I can get me loud.
So let me move this to maybe. So this is a gentleman. His name is Boateng Dennis. Dennis he was answering questions right here. Okay, so we're asking him questions. He was responding, and we gave him feedback at the end of the day. Now, the beauty about this is that's me asking him questions. You saw when Dennis took a cup of water to drink. I wish I could play the audio but we don't have time. I asked Dennis a very difficult question. He couldn't answer. So in order to buy time, he grabbed a cup of water to drink and he was thinking about how to respond. So these are the things we teach you how to do. When you get in an interview, what a Canadian employer wants to see from you is your confidence. They don't want you to jump into that interview and start answering questions. They want you to get into the interview and ask questions like, oh, how is the weather where you live today? It was snowy on my way down here, and you start with small talk. Oh, I was researching into the company, and on LinkedIn, I saw that you had, a picnic for employees last month. Do you have this all the time? Or how often do you have these team bonding exercises? It gets you warmed up to these potential employers. You're going to be their colleagues, and they want to see that you have that culture of being outspoken and also starting with small talk to warm yourself up. All right. So these are the things we show you how to do. So this is what the mentorship session looks like. So anybody who missed this session, for example, can come back, click on the recording and watch the recording. So your live classes are always recorded. So you don't miss out on anything. The week before, we had an industry professional in the UK, a HR consultant, who came in to talk to people. Her name is Omotara. Omotara is a HR consultant in the UK. We brought her in. She came to speak to people on what you need to take note of in order to break into the tech ecosystem. So we bring in industry professionals during mentorship, and they literally help you hold your hands to make that transition. Then you have your Upwork optimization, and finally your CV review and revamp. We do that for you. We review your CV for you. We revamp it, ensure that it is keyword optimized, and then we show you how to tailor your CV subsequently. So when you want to apply to jobs, you know how to tailor that CV to apply to those jobs. Okay, I've talked about the mentorship session. I've shown you how we send you jobs every week for you to apply to. All right. Now, the final strategy I would like to give anybody in Canada. Remember, I said you move from intensity to intentionality in Canada. You must, by all means, you want to get a job, get into the inner circle of startups within Canada. You must go to where the decision makers are, the people that will decide on your application. You must go to where they are. And how do you do this? Number one, search for innovation hubs near me. Innovation hubs near me, tech accelerators near me. Go on Google and just do a quick search. So many innovation hubs would come up. visit and attend one of them. All right. And I'll give you a very quick story on how this helped somebody to land a job. Last year, 2024, sometime around, I think, September, October, I visited Edmonton Unlimited, which is one of the tech accelerators in Alberta. And I met with somebody who has his own company. So when he saw that I was also a founder, he was excited. I wanted to have a conversation with me. And I didn't know the reason he was so excited was because he was about employing somebody from Nigeria. The gentleman was in Nigeria and he wanted to get my own take on the person's profile. So he was hiring a data engineer. The data engineer was in Nigeria and he showed me the person's profile. Interestingly, coincidentally, this person had trained with Analytics in 2023. So I saw the name, I saw his profile, and I told the owner of the company that I've worked with this person before. He's very good. He's a professional. He can do the job. And that was where he decided he was going to hire this gentleman. The gentleman is currently in Edmonton as a data engineer. He came in sometime last year, around December. He's currently on PR and he's doing an amazing stuff. How on earth would that ever have happened? Somebody trying to hire somebody from Nigeria. I attended an innovation, hub. I met with that person. Coincidentally, the person in Nigeria that was being considered had trained with Analytics. And the singular fact that I told that gentleman who owned the company that I've worked with him before was that deciding factor on getting this guy his PR. His name is Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi is currently in Canada doing work for that company. Okay, so depending on where you are, if you're in Alberta, you can check out. So if you go on Google, let's go together very quickly. If you go on Google, you can simply just type innovation hubs near me. Okay, innovation hubs near me. Just type that in and you'd see so many of them. Okay, platform innovation. There's platform Calgary. Platform Calgary is another fantastic one. Is a part of Alberta Innovates. Alberta Innovates is where you have Edmonton Unlimited, Platform Calgary. If you are in BC, there is Launchpad in British Columbia, in Vancouver to be specific. So irrespective of where you are, just search for any one of them. Okay. And what you want to do, so if we take Edmonton Unlimited, for example, and I open this up, right? Look for their events. Don't look for anything else. Look for their events. Click on events, and this shows you the events that they have. Free. You don't need to pay anything to get into these innovation hubs or accelerators. So this is how our participants get access to jobs. So you're not just going to be in Canada and apply and apply and apply. It doesn't just work that way. You must have alternative strategies to get in front of the people that are likely going to hire you. Why is it important to be here? I'll tell you about the community coffee because I've been here severally. So there's one coming up on the 19th of March, community coffee. What's it all about? You have founders, co-founders, C-suite executives. They come together on a Wednesday. They attend this community coffee. You get free coffee, you get free bagels, free cookies, and you network, essentially. So if you're a job seeker, you tell people what you can do, the skills you have, and this gives you a free, proximity to the people that would likely say, oh, I like you. I'd like to take this conversation further. Or, oh, you're a business analyst in Canada trying to get a job. I know somebody who is looking for a business analyst. And that's where opportunities start to come in. All right. And I'm just using this as an example. Community coffee happens every Wednesdays. Every single Wednesdays. It's on Jasper Avenue. It's 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., 3 hours every Wednesdays. Just come here and register. It's for free. Or you can just walk in. You open up your LinkedIn and you clock in for them to get your details and you attend for free. So this is Edmonton Unlimited. You can go to different other platform. Calgary is another fantastic one. But what am I saying essentially? All you need to do is go to their events, okay? Attend a community event, go there for free and interact with recruiters, interact with professionals for free. And that's how you get yourself into organizations that are looking for you. All right. So that's one of the major takeaways for anybody in Canada. It doesn't cut across just Canada. If you're in the UK, you are in the US, it works exactly the same. In the UK, for example, level 39, L39 is a fantastic place. It's in London. It's a fantastic place for you to be if you want to get opportunities. All right. Now, as we start to wrap up, we need to see people that have done the same thing before and they've gotten success out of it. I talked about Hope, and I'm going to walk you through Hope's story. I told you about Hope being a project manager, having different certifications, but she couldn't get an interview, just like so many people face. And that's why we tell people it is always competence over credentials. Forget about your credentials. Competence is what you want to build, your skills and your experience. So Hope had all the certifications and she felt like, I have PMP, I have Scrum Master. When I get into Canada, I'm going to get that job immediately. But she was faced with a rude awakening, just like so many people would face. She applied. There was no interview. She joined our Agile Management program in September. And by December, she landed her first job with Visman as a project analyst in Waterloo, Ontario. How did she do it? Simple. I told you the story earlier. We simply just took all the things she's done. We showed her what she needed to do, build a portfolio, work on projects, all the things I've walked you through, just like Victor did. So when she went to interviews, or when she got interviews, they had seen how good she was, what she had done, and not just the certification. Who is the person? Can you come in and do the job on day one? And that was what Hope was able to do. So I'm going to play Hope's video very quickly. And I think that's the only video I'm going to play because of time. So I want you to listen to Hope yourself, hear how she was able to navigate this journey. And finally, I'll show you where you can also get all the testimonials of all these fantastic people on our YouTube page. For somebody like Oyefikayo also had a background in finance and accounting, but she couldn't get a job in finance. She couldn't get a job as an accountant. She realized that, I have to do this examination, that examination, and so on. So she decided to join our full stack data science program. And a month before Oyefikayo completed her program with us, she landed a job as a business solutions analyst with a company in Ontario as well. You have Oluwadamilare, who is in the UK, joined our data analytics program. He got a job as a sustainability data analyst with a company called BAM in the UK. And I'll quickly just play Hope's video, and we get to listen to Hope, how she was able to do it, and how you can do the same as well. All right. So let's click on that.
It helps me land.
Okay. I'm just going to speed it up because Hope was speaking very slowly. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit so that, so let's listen to Hope, enjoy her story, how she had all the certifications, and how we were able to help her land a job, a 6-figure job. All right. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So I'm going to play and pause. Or have you been hearing the audio, Shay? Just to be sure that, okay, fantastic. So listen to Hope, and I'm sure you'd learn one or two things from her.
It helped me land my first project management job in Canada, and I'm really grateful for it. Of course, it's a 6-figure job, and I appreciate the fact that they had a great impact in me landing that job. Hello, my name is Hope Atoye. I am an alumni of Analytics. I joined the 2024 September cohort class for Adult Project Management. Prior to joining this cohort, I had a certificate in project management, and I had written the PMP, and I'd also written the Scrum Master certification, which I passed both, but I still needed to land a project management role in Canada. Prior to when I moved to Canada, I had an experience with managing projects and handling agile projects in Nigeria. But moving to Canada, I hadn't gathered enough experience in the project space, so I needed to break into that space. Analytics was recommended to me, and I tried it. I had a focus on what I wanted, and they helped me achieve that. I joined the class, it was very interactive, it was very educative. I increased what I knew prior to joining the class, and I learned new things as well. I would definitely recommend Analytics to anyone who is looking to break into a new field or change career path. I think Analytics is where you should be. You should register with them. They would help you with your post registration, ongoing classes, getting a job, you know, interview processes and all that. While on the project, or sorry, while on in the class, I applied to a couple of jobs, and Analytics helps me with my interview preparation, giving me tips, organizing mock interview sessions as well. And it helped me land my first project management job in Canada. And I'm really grateful for it. Of course, it's a six-figure job. And I appreciate the fact that they had a great impact in me landing that job. I will recommend Analytics to anyone who is looking to change career path, and they would help you through the process before, during, and even after you land a job. They're willing to help you answer questions, guide you through, help you settle in your new role as well. Thank you very much, Analytics. I really appreciate your help in my career growth, and I hope that anyone who is looking to make an impact in their careers or change career path are looking to work with Analytics, because they're one educational agency I would recommend to anyone. Thank you very much, Analytics.
Can you please just hear me out?
Okay, so that's Hope. Amazing, fantastic lady. But there was something that should catch anybody's attention. She hadn't been able to get interviews. This time around, she got interviews and she got support in preparing mock interview sessions. And that was the game changer for Hope. Okay, and so many other professionals. You have Pavel. Pavel got this job recently. Okay, I think he just started this job in March. Pavel is in the US, in Tucson, Arizona. He joined our data analytics program in August last year, completed his program in December, multiple interviews. I worked with Pavel personally, helping him, show him how to review his portfolio, preparing him for interviews. And he secured this job this month in March 2025 as a data analyst. And this was the post he made on LinkedIn when he got that job. Okay. I'm excited to announce I'm beginning my position as a data analyst with Arizona Community Physicians. Thanks to Tenalytics. I wish I could give a full story on Pavel's journey, because it's simply amazing from when he started to where he is. There is a long trail of support and advice, interview preps to get to where he's gotten to today. All right. And you have so many other professionals in cybersecurity, HR analytics. This is Ikmat, Ramat, and Toyin. Toyin was a pharmacist back in Nigeria. Today, she's a data analyst with the NHS in the UK. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom doing her master's. She moved to the UK eventually to do her master's. She tried to get a job, couldn't get a job, joined our data analytics program. Today, Ikmat is also a data analyst with the NHS on full visa sponsorship. All the three ladies on this screen are on their visa sponsorship in the UK, skilled worker visa, all right, after their master's. Ikmat's master's now moved from the study visa to the skilled worker tier 2 visa. Same with Ramat and same with Tony. All right. You have professionals like Abigail. Abigail was a care worker back in Saskatchewan. Today, Abigail is a business analyst with the government of Alberta. Okay. And so many. I can go on and on and on, but I'm not going to bore you with all the testimonials. I'll show you exactly where to get these testimonials and watch them. Lois was an accountant. Today, she's a business analyst. Ngozi was in customer service. Today, she's a business analyst, and so on and so forth. Okay. Fola got a job. I think this was sometime in August 2024 with the government of BC as a business analyst here in Canada. You have Benem, who got a job as a HR analyst in the US after completing HR analytics. Okay. So I'm just going to skip all of this because you'd have the opportunity to go back and watch. So what we do for people like Pavel, people like Hope, we brought them back to come share their story. So on our YouTube, which I'll share with you, you have where we brought these professionals back and they come talk to you about the things they did in order to land these jobs, and you can watch them for free. Okay. When we got into North America, because we had always operated in the UK, we had helped thousands and thousands of Africans, people of the Black community, to land their jobs in the UK. We moved into North America to get closer to our audience. And one of the ways we did this was to get into the Alberta Catalyzer Velocity Program. So this is a program by the Alberta government to help innovative startups offer quality services to their to their community and to their audience. That's me over there. And that's Efemena, the co-founder, with other founders who participated in this cohort of the Alberta Velocity Program. So I also have the link right there. You can click on the link. You can read about all the amazing stuff Tenalytics has done within the Alberta community and so on after we moved to North America. So that's Tenalytics right there and the other companies that participated. And of course, people also ask about, accreditation. Am I recognized? Am I certified? Yes, you are. Our accreditation is from the American Council of Training and Development. Okay, so you can also look at this accreditation right here. It takes you to the ACTD website where you get to see about what Tenalytics has done. Tenalytics is a professional training institute registered in Canada, met all the accreditation requirements, and so on and so forth. So what's the next step? Like Franco Ugoji, who is asking, how do I register? But remember, I talked about an amazing discount that we have for you. So the next steps for anybody on this call that you need to take is getting started in 2025. You can start your journey in 2025, learn the skills, work on the project, build a portfolio, do all the amazing stuff I have listed, and land a job. So we have a cohort coming up in April, next month, on the 5th of April. And we have another cohort that would start on the 10th of May. You can join these two cohorts, leveraging the amazing Women in Tech scholarship that we have available. So over the last 4 years, at Tenalytics, we've also tried to play our part in getting more women into tech, because the ratio at the moment is not looking too good for the women. Women in tech at the moment represent just 25%. So we are doing all we can to increase the number of women in the tech ecosystem. And over the last 4 years, our little work in giving this scholarship, you would see Hope. Hope is a lady. Oyefikayo is a lady. Ikmat is a lady. Ramat is a lady. So you see ladies who are not just being dependent when they move to these countries anymore. They now take the bull by the horn, learn the skills, and they get into high-paying career path within the UK, the US, Canada, and so on and so forth. So that's where we came up with the Women in Tech Scholarship, which gives you 50% access to all the programs we offer. The 8 programs I listed, you have access to 50% scholarship as a lady for 300 women to start in the month of April or the month of May. Okay. Now, because we know that men hold 75% of the roles within the tech ecosystem, we are also extending 50 scholarships to men so that men can also serve as advocates for women getting into tech. All right. So 300 women, 50 men. So what this simply means is, rather than paying the full amount it would have cost you to join any of our program for the business and analysis, the data analytics, cybersecurity, HR analytics, agile project management, any program you decide to join, for the 8-month plan where you have 6 months learning, 2 months internship, would cost you $900. But with the 50% scholarship that we have available, you get to pay just $450 for the IWD Women in Tech Scholarship. And what this simply means is you can also make this payment in 3 installments. You don't have to pay $450, and this is $450 US dollars. I'll show you how to pay in Canadian, pay in pounds, pay in euros, whatever currency you decide to pay. I'll show you how to do that. All right. So rather than paying the $450 at a go, you can spread it across 3 months. So this even makes it easier for you to start. So for somebody like Ikmat, who was a stay-at-home mom, Ikmat benefited from the IWD scholarship in 2024. She was a recipient of that scholarship. She got into data analytics, and today she's on visa sponsorship in the UK, working with the NHS as a data analyst. So this is an opportunity. If you have a sister, you have a cousin, you have a colleague, this is the best time to get started, get your journey started, get your foot into the door, and eventually get that job in 2025. So for those who will be paying from Shay's community, this is simply how you get to pay. All right. You want to join any of the cohorts, or you want to reach out to any of my colleagues, you have our email right on the screen, you have our website right on the screen, and you have our phone numbers and also WhatsApp. You can reach out to any of my colleagues using any of these details. However, I want to make payment and secure my discount today, because it is not, the discount is not, endless. It's not limitless. It's for just 300 women and 50 men. And we launched this, I think that was 2 weeks ago. So we've had so many slots gone already. So if I click on this, it takes me to the enrollment center on how I can go ahead and make payments. Okay, so for those who would like to chat with us right off the bat, if you click on this chat with Analytics, it takes you to a WhatsApp where somebody would respond to you immediately. For those who want to get access to all the program brochures, you want to see in business analysis, what will I learn? What are the specifics? And so on and so forth. You can get access to all the brochures right here. Okay. Now, if I click on any of these links, secure your IWD discounts, click on any of the links, it takes me into where I can go ahead and make payments. Okay. So we have 14 seats available. 14 seats available. So I want to make payments. I'm in Canada, for example. I want to make payments in Canadian dollars. What's the equivalent of 450 US dollars? I'll simply go to the top right and I'll change the currency to what? CAD, Canadian dollars. Okay. And I can see what I would have to pay. So I'll pay $216.6 Canadian dollars every month for 3 months. It's never been easier to get into the tech ecosystem with all the value that you stand to gain with us at Analytics. So if I select this option, all I need to do is, click secure your seat. So you make your first payment in the month of March, you make the next payment in April, you make the final payment in May. Can I pay in Naira? You can pay in any currency, Ghanaian cedi, South African rand, US dollars. So if I go to the drop down, I select Naira. I can type in Naira or NGN. You'd see the Nigerian Naira. Click on that. You'd also see the equivalents. Okay. You get to pay 291,000 per month for 3 months to get into our 8 months program. Okay. You learn all the skills, you work on projects, you build a portfolio, you have interview prep, we work on your CV, optimize your LinkedIn, and all the beautiful things that get you into the room, get that job, and thrive in your career. If you want to make payments in euros, EUR, you'd see euros. You want to make payments in Ghanaian cedis, just type in cedi, you'd see the Ghanaian cedi. You want to make payments in rand, South African rand, you have all the options right there. Okay. So how do I eventually, so let's take, for example, or even if I'm in the UK, I want to make payments in pounds. You can also make payments in pounds. So you get to pay £123 per month for 3 months. So I select this option. You can make your payments in one full sweep or in 2 installments, but you have the maximum of 3 installments to pay. So if I select this, secure your seats, you'd see that you make your first payment today, next payment in April, and final payment in May. So I click on proceed. I enter my name. I enter my email, and I click on pay for products. Okay. I enter my card details, enter all the information, and then I click on confirm payments. The moment you confirm payment and you pay, you get an automated email with your transaction confirmation, and you get automatically redirected to a registration form. That registration form looks like this. And this form is very important. I'll just mention this to you. So the link gets sent into your email and you're also redirected. So in case you are redirected and you can't fill the form at that time, the link would also be in your email. You can go to your email as part of your receipts. You'd see the link, click on it and fill this form. Okay. Now, for those who are not sure, or Adeiza, I'm not sure if I should do cybersecurity, or I'm not sure if I should do data engineering. Secure your discounts, secure your slots, and when filling this form, select I need to speak to a professional, and would set up a clarity session for you. And I'll show you how this works. So you select all the details. It's a pretty straightforward, intuitive form. What type of payment did you make? Initial, full payment. If you made full payment, select full payment. Initial payment, select, click on next. Okay. You fill all the details, 8 months program. Click. If you have any questions regarding payments or anything, just send an email to finance@10analytics.io or accounts@10analytics.io, and somebody would respond to you and advise you if you have any questions on payments. Click on next. Enter your first name, your last name, email, gender. Click on next. You have the terms and conditions. If you have any questions, like I mentioned, you can send us emails or reach out to any of my colleagues on this number or send a WhatsApp message. Somebody will respond to you. Click on next. When did you make payment? I made payment today, the 15th. Select that date. Upload a screenshot of your payment and upload a picture. We take the passport photo because I want to know that Sheyi is Sheyi who has paid as a woman or as a lady, because we have 300 slots for ladies. So we want the ladies to take advantage. And we have just 50 slots for the men. So once we get to more than 50, we don't, take any more as well. So we click on next, next. And this is where, when you're selecting the program, so for those of you who have, what you want to do. You want to do business analysis. You want to do agile project management, data engineering. Be my guest and select that option. But if you're not sure, you want a professional to sit with you and walk you through and help you decide. We don't tell you categorically that you must do this, but we help you decide based on so many factors. All you need to do is select I need to speak to a professional, and would set up a clarity session where we get to answer all those questions for you. Click on next. You can then decide, do I want to start in April, the 5th of April, or do I want to start 10th of May? You can select that option. If you want to start immediately, 5th of April, select that. You want to start on the 10th of May, select that as well. You have that option. Enter your WhatsApp number so you get added to a WhatsApp community where it's easy for you to communicate with your contemporaries in class and also with your facilitator and the professional that would walk you through all the programs and every single thing. Your country of residence. How did you find out about 10 Analytics? Select, of course, if you heard about us from Sheyi, you want to select Sheyi. Sheyi should be somewhere on this list. So that's Sheyi or Basi. Just select Sheyi or Basi so we know that you came from Sheyi or Basi. What made you register? Select you tell us why you registered. Oh, I want to get started. Oh, the testimonials were compelling. I really want to also get that job. All right. So that's how you get started with us. We have cohorts every single month. We had a cohort that started in January, a cohort that started in February last month, I beg your pardon, 8th of February. They didn't enjoy this discount. They paid the full $900. We would have a cohort that would also start after this IWD discount from May, June, July, August, up until December. But the difference is you have the opportunity to take advantage of the IWD discount. And afterwards, the discount is gone. So you can decide to register in September, but you won't be paying the $450 discount. You get to pay the full $900 for the 8-month program. Okay, so I think I'm going to take a breather right here, and then if we have questions, I know this session was meant to last for about an hour, but we've done almost an hour, 30 minutes. So I'm sure people would have questions. If you have questions, please feel free to ask your questions. I'll be here to answer those questions. But I hope you've learned something new today, walking you through the journey. Getting a job is not, it doesn't happen by luck. It's preparation, directed focus. You must have a strategy to application, and you must know exactly what you're doing. Essentially, it's methodical to get that job, from your CV to your LinkedIn to your portfolio experience, how to showcase that you have experience. Listing Amdari on your CV. Amdari is a Canadian company, also registered in the UK as well. So that UK experience, that Canadian experience, you have that. And I would end by showing you an example. Okay, so we have somebody like, just give me 1 second. I would end by showing this. So we have somebody like Busola. So all the amazing ladies, all the amazing guys that you've seen that have gotten jobs, I'll show you a practical example of how they used analytics as their reference. So this is Busola. Busola got this job with Desjardins Insurance in Ontario, Canada. She came into Canada just like so many other people trying to get a job, found it difficult. She joined our data analytics program last year in March, and she got this job sometime in July last year. So she's 9 months into the role as a performance analyst with Desjardins. But guess who was her previous employer? Tenalytics. Okay, working with us as a data analyst. So we provided Busola with her references. We worked with her on her interview and so on and so forth. So that's how you list. That's how you have it on your CV. And this is what gives you the opportunity to land that job. And I think I'll just take a breather right here and take questions. Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Am I echoing?
No, but it's not. I can hear you clearly, Shay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if you have questions, leave your questions in the comments. Chinelo is asking, should I look forward to another scholarship? I think that's what you just explained now.
Yes. The scholarship ends the moment we have 300 women. And let me give you a typical example. Last year, 2024, we had 520 people that subscribed to the scholarship. We could only give 300. The 220 extra had to pay the full amount. Okay, so that's how fast it runs out when we open up the scholarship, because it's a unique opportunity to get your journey started. If you want to delay your journey to 2026, then perhaps you want to wait until 2026. Okay, but this is the time for you to start, Chinelo, if you want to get your journey in 2025 started and actually land that job. Okay, I hope I answered the question, Chinelo.
Yeah. So the links are below. Yeah, they are clickable links to get the 50% scholarship. There's also the link to join the community where you can speak to someone and ask a question and see how this works for you. So if we're not even sure, like data analyst, business analyst, whatever, they'll speak with you and walk you through. Yeah,
absolutely.
So we don't seem to have any more questions. Excuse me. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comments. If you think of something later, we're going to come back and answer. If you have any friends that you know has been looking for a job, whether in Canada, outside of Canada, please, if you like them, send them this link, yeah, so that they can watch it. Scholarship of pay 450, exactly. So instead of 900.
Yes. So Chuko, it's a 50% scholarship right off the bat. Okay. So typically the program goes for $900 US dollars. All right. No discounts. So every year on year, we have this scholarship to commemorate the International Women's Month in the month of March, and to also get more women into tech, because the representation of women into tech is just about 25%. Compared to 75% held by men. And this is our own little way of saying more women should get into tech, get into the tech ecosystem. And it's been super, super successful. All right. The people that have been recipients and they've moved from just learning the skills to getting a job. Okay. You don't see this type of value for $450 anywhere. It doesn't exist.
You don't.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't. How do the elderly fit in the job space? Wow, this is I don't know. Do you
Yeah.
understand the question?
It's a good question. So, Victor, what you'd find majorly in the developed economies is you're not discriminated against based on your age. Okay. But I always like to tell people to also look at your capacity to learn and to also be in class, given the new set of skills you'll be learning. And what do I mean? We had a gentleman who was preparing for retirement. He was about 55 and he joined our data analytics program. And he was the most active in class, always asking all the questions. And the reason why he joined was not because he wanted to get a job. He was setting up his consulting company, his consultancy after retirement. So he wanted to learn these skills so he could speak to clients based on that particular lingo. So as a data analyst, he's well aware about the tech ecosystem and he can speak to clients with related, similar technologies. And that was the reason, his objective of learning the skill at that time. So usually you'd find out that it doesn't matter your age, okay, but for somebody who wants to get a job, transition, you're not going to get discriminated against based on your age. All right. You could be 50, you could be 45, you could be 40. You are well within the range to learn these skills and get into the tech ecosystem. So I want to share one last thing, Shay, if you would permit me, because I promised I was going to share where people can have access to see other testimonials. I couldn't share as much as I would love to because of the time. So I'll just quickly show you Tenalytics YouTube. This is where you need to go to, and you have access to all the testimonials possible. Okay. So if you go to your YouTube, just search. All right. Search for Tenalytics, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Go to YouTube first of all. Once you get to YouTube, go to your search bar and search for Tenalytics. Go to Tenalytics, click on the Tenalytics logo. Of course, subscribe, ensure you're subscribed so you get all the updates we send and so on. So go to Tenalytics YouTube, and you'd have access to over 5 years worth of content. So we have free sessions. I had a session about 2 weeks ago, how to gain the experience required. This was a robust, amazing session. Okay. So we have all these amazing stuff. And then we have the Tenalytics alumni job success stories. And you can see numerous professionals. Benga, who is in Poland, got a job. This gentleman who got a job as a fraud analyst in the UK. You have this gentleman who got a job with Jaguar Land Rover as a data engineer. He moved from that role as a data engineer to analytics engineer. We worked with him, his references and all of that. So you have the opportunity. That's Hope over there. We watched Hope's video today. You listen to Oyefikayo, who also got a job. You listen to Pavel, who started his job in March. So you have access to all these amazing, amazing testimonials. And like I also mentioned, we bring these professionals. So this session, how I got a job, my post-analytics career success story, we brought Pavel, who got a job in March. He came to speak about all the things he did right and how you can also do the same. There was a session where we also brought Hope. Hope also came to speak as well, to share her experience. So you have access to all these, content, essentially, all right, on the Tenalytics YouTube. And for somebody who is also getting started, so this is another session on how I got a job after my Tenalytics journey, and so on. So you get to watch all these things, see how people started and how you can also do the same. All right. So you'd see how to learn Excel, how to get started with Python, how to learn how to write user stories as a business analyst. You have all those content right here, and it gives you an insight into some of the things you stand to benefit from our YouTube page as well. Okay. So I'll stop there, Shay.
Okay. That was so valuable. Thank you so much. Guys, I hope you have learned something. that it's not about the intensity. That one struck me.
Yes.
It's about being intentional. Yeah. So it's not by firing your application. If you don't have the skills and you don't know what you're doing, you can send 1 million applications and you'll get nowhere.
Absolutely.
So the link to join to get the 50% scholarship will be, it's there in the comments, also be in the video description, as well as, very importantly, I don't know why you haven't joined the community by now, where you can speak with an expert. It's free. It's just clickable there, and you see how this works for you. Because really, I mean, the job market is what it is. I mean, and if you want to get it, like the Bible says, the violent take it by force. So you have to go and take it by force.
Absolutely.
So, Adeiza, thank you very much. Very valuable. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See all the other valuables here. Don't forget to also share this with a friend. And if you are just joining, just go from the beginning and watch till now. Everything you need is provided. Thank you so much, Adeiza. I hope that I will be able to bring you back some other time to teach us more about getting this job in Canada. Anyway.
Yes.
Thank you very much, guys. Hope to see you when we do the next live, probably next month. Thank you and bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
everyone. Yeah.
Bye.